What would you do if someone who ran nursing homes into the ground, left workers without benefits, and endangered the lives of vulnerable elderly residents suddenly walked free with their record wiped clean? This story has left legal experts, state officials, and grieving families asking a disturbing question. Is justice for sale in America? Stay with me, because the details behind this presidential pardon are as shocking as they are controversial. In a decision that has ignited outrage across the country, President Donald Trump issued a full and unconditional pardon to Joseph Schwartz, a disgraced nursing home operator whose business empire collapsed amid fraud, neglect, and millions of dollars in unpaid taxes. Schwartz once controlled nearly 100 nursing homes across 11 states. On paper, it looked like a thriving healthcare empire. In reality, prosecutors said it was built on deception, financial abuse, and the exploitation of both workers and vulnerable residents. Federal investigators uncovered a massive $38 million employment tax fraud scheme. According to court records, Schwartz withheld taxes from his employees' paychecks, but never sent that money to the government. Instead, he pocketed it. For the workers, the consequences were devastating. Many were left without promised health benefits, no retirement contributions, and no safety net. For residents in these facilities, elderly, frail, and often unable to advocate for themselves, the situation was even worse. As the businesses crumbled, so did standards of care. Eventually, Schwartz was convicted in federal court and sentenced to 36 months in prison. But he would only serve about 3 months of that sentence before the presidential pardon erased his conviction. Not reduced, not committed. Completely wiped away. And because the pardon was unconditional, Schwartz now stands to get back what he had already begun paying, around $100,000 in fines, and part of the $5 million in court-ordered restitution. For families who watched loved ones suffer in understaffed, unsafe facilities, the news felt like a slap in the face. The damage wasn't limited to just one region. In Arkansas alone, state authorities were forced to take over 2 facilities linked to Schwartz after conditions deteriorated so badly that residents were no longer safe. Staff members went unpaid, vendors cut off services, and even Schwartz's own attorneys eventually walked away, saying they were never paid. Judges across Arkansas entered default judgments against him for outstanding debts that piled up as the businesses collapsed. And now, with the federal conviction erased, many of those debts may never be recovered. One state official put it bluntly, he ran Arkansas nursing homes into the ground. That is a fact. Our most vulnerable citizens suffered, and he walks away scot-free. Beyond the federal case, Schwartz also pleaded guilty in the Arkansas state court to Medicaid fraud and tax evasion. He still owes more than $1.8 million in restitution at the state level. Whether the presidential pardon affects those obligations is still unclear, and questions remain about whether he must serve his state sentence. Just months before the pardon, Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin publicly celebrated Schwartz's conviction. He said Schwartz didn't just take advantage of vulnerable residents. He preyed on Arkansans who worked in his facilities. He promised that bad actors would be held accountable. That promise now hangs in the balance. Then came the revelation that took this story from disturbing to explosive. Public lobbying disclosures revealed that in the months leading up to the pardon, Schwartz paid nearly $960,000 to 2 controversial political operatives to help secure his freedom: Jack Berkman and Jacob Wohl. Both men are convicted felons. Both were hit with massive fines for their role in a scandal involving illegal robocalls during the 2020 election, calls that targeted Black voters with disinformation and intimidation. Both have long histories of promoting conspiracy theories, fabricating claims, and running political schemes. Yet despite that background, they became the gateway through which a multi-million-dollar fraudster would regain his freedom. According to the filings, Schwartz transferred nearly $1 million to these 2 men in exchange for lobbying and influence aimed at securing a presidential pardon. And, shortly afterward, that pardon arrived. The White House has offered no detailed public explanation for why Schwartz was deemed worthy of such extraordinary mercy. No statement addressing the countless residents harmed. No acknowledgement of the workers left without pay and benefits. No explanation for why someone celebrated as a major criminal success by the Justice Department suddenly became a candidate for forgiveness. Perhaps the most stinging criticism came from someone who once oversaw the federal pardon process itself. Liz Oyer, who previously led the U.S. Office of the Pardon Attorney, spoke out in a viral video after the news broke. She said this case shows something deeply troubling about how power works in the United States. According to Oyer, the Schwartz pardon demonstrates that there is now a special tier of justice for people who can afford to pay. She pointed out the irony that Schwartz was publicly heralded by Trump's own Justice Department after his conviction as an example of accountability in action. And yet, after hundreds of thousands of dollars in lobbying efforts, that same conviction vanished with the stroke of a pen. To critics, the message is chilling. While thousands of nonviolent offenders remain behind bars with little hope of clemency, a wealthy man convicted of a multi-million-dollar fraud can spend less than a year in prison or even just months, if he has the right connections and the money to pursue them. Behind the legal debates and political arguments are real people whose lives were permanently altered. Some families trusted these nursing homes to care for their parents and grandparents. Families who later discovered understaffing, unpaid suppliers, and unsafe conditions. Some workers watched their paychecks shrink while their taxes vanished into a fraud scheme they never agreed to be part of. For them, this isn't a story about lobbying or politics. It's about accountability. It's about whether the damage done to their loved ones will ever truly be answered for. And now, with the federal conviction erased, the fear is that justice may never fully catch up. When nearly $1 million in lobbying is tied to a pardon that erases a massive fraud conviction, it raises uncomfortable questions about influence, fairness, and, honestly, the integrity of the justice system. Was this mercy, or was it privilege? For many Americans watching this unfold, the answer feels, well, painfully clear. This story isn't just about one man and one pardon, it's about the kind of justice system we want to live under. A system where accountability applies to everyone, or one where money and connections can, rewrite the rules. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth coverage on the stories shaping our world. Your support helps keep these conversations alive. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.